Hi everyone, welcome to the presentation on measurement of power and power factor using 1 watt meter method. I am Swati Kolasa, lecturer in Electrical and Electronics Engineering, Sanjay Gandhi Government Polytechnic, Adilabad. The prerequisites of the program or lecture are: one should know the construction and working of dynamometer type instruments and working of dynamometer type instruments as wattmeter. So these two are prerequisites before going further into the video lecture. In this lecture, we will study about power measurement in LT circuits only, low tension circuits only. The measurement of power in high tension circuits is done by instrument transformers in conjunction with wattmeter. Let us see the circuit diagram of power measurement in single phase circuit. In a single phase circuit, we are going to have a phase and a neutral. Now, to the supply, we have load connected to it. We have to connect the wattmeter to the circuit. A wattmeter will have 4 terminals as shown in the figure. As you can see, so this is phase, this is neutral. Load is to be connected in this fashion, but in between, to measure the single phase power, we have a wattmeter placed. So as we can see that phase is connected to one terminal of the current coil. The terminals of the current coils are named as M and L. Generally, L is connected to the load side. Sometimes M may also be connected to the load side. And what is that condition where M is connected to load side? We will see that particular situation in our further slides. So when we connect L to the load side and M to the phase, it is clear that the current coil is connected in series with the load, which means the current coil will carry the same current that is carried by the load. And similarly, we have a pressure coil. The pressure coil has 2 terminals, C and V. So M, L, C, V are minimum 4 terminals that are projected outside. We can increase or extend the range of the voltage as well as range of current. So to increase the range of current or current rating of the wattmeter, we know that already the dynamometer type measuring instrument will have 2 current coils. They are generally are connected in series. We can have those 2 current coils also connected in parallel so as to increase the current rating. So we'll be having 2 metal strips, conductor strips. It is visible on the case of the wattmeter, where we can connect the 2 strips either in series manner or in parallel manner. When they are connected in parallel manner, the same wattmeter is used for higher current rating. When they are connected in series manner, the same wattmeter will be used for low current rating. Now, similarly, we have pressure coil. We can have different tappings for the pressure coil for different ranges of the voltage. Why? Because the current through the pressure coil is proportional to the voltage across C and V. So the pressure coil winding is going to be very fine such that it offers high resistance in such a manner that the current that is flowing through the pressure coil is simply proportional, directly proportional to the voltage across the pressure coil. So in that manner, when we have different tappings, we can select any one of the tapping so that the voltage range will be different. In this manner, we'll have the single phase wattmeter, which is dynamometer type of wattmeter. And here we can see that M and L are connected. The current coil is connected in series with the load. The pressure coil is connected in parallel with the load. Getting into the further slides, we'll just see the same. We'll see the practical wattmeter connection. Here you can see a practical wattmeter connection. In this connection, M and L, these two are current coils, and C and V, here we have two V's, 112 volt and the other one is 230 volt. This portion is zoomed and placed here. This is the image. M and L is current coil and C and V is pressure coil. You have tappings here as we have discussed in the earlier slide. So the common and M, generally we short circuit common and M, where M is connected to the source side and L to load side. So here we can have the common connected to L side also. But generally it's a good practice that we connect the common to M and L is connected to the load and V to the other terminal of the load and M to the power supply as shown in this slide. Now let us see how to measure the single phase circuit power. The connections are shown in the circuit diagram. We have understood about the circuit diagram connections thoroughly in the previous slides. The current coil in case of dynamometer type wattmeter is actually two fixed coils is connected in series with the load, just like ammeter. The pressure or voltage coil in case of dynamometer type wattmeter, the moving coil is connected in parallel to the supply. This is similar to the voltmeter. As current coil is carrying load current and voltage has load voltage across, voltage coil has load voltage across it. The reading of wattmeter is the power consumed by the load. So as we already know the working of the dynamometer type instrument as a wattmeter, here the current through pressure coil is proportional to the voltage. Current through the current coil is proportional to the current through the load. So this is load voltage and this is load current into cos of these two phases. That means VL comma IL. Cos of angle between VL and IL. This is the formal, this is what a dynamometer type instrument will give the reading of, which is nothing but the real power consumed by the load. In this manner, we will see that the deflection of the wattmeter is will simply show us the power consumed by the load. Let us discuss on the power measurement in three-phase circuits. As we have already seen how to measure power in a single-phase circuit, how to connect a wattmeter, when and which directions we have to connect the metal strips, how to extend the range of the current rating in a wattmeter and how to extend the range of voltage rating in a wattmeter. We have seen them. Now let us discuss on the power measurement in a three-phase circuit. So how many wattmeters are needed to measure power in a three-phase circuit? Actually, there are three methods. One is a wattmeter method. So a single wattmeter is sufficient to measure a three-phase power and also to find out the power factor of a circuit. 3 wattmeter method is also used where it is pretty clear from the name that three different wattmeters are used to measure three-phase power in a three-phase circuit. We also have a 2 wattmeter method. Out of these three, 2 wattmeter method is most widely used one. Why? Because it can be used for both balanced and unbalanced loads. So we know that for a three-phase load circuit, we are going to have three different loads either connected in star connection. or in delta connection. Now when they are connected, the three different load impedances, if they are equal, they are called as balanced loads because the currents are going to be the same as because we are connecting it to a three phase balanced power supply. As the impedances of all the phase loads in a three phase circuit, load circuit is same, the currents, voltages, phase voltage, current, phase current, line current, everything is going to be same. Now, for unbalanced loads, the impedances of the different phases of three-phase circuit is not same, and hence the current, phase currents are not going to be same. So we call that as unbalanced load. Now, by using 2 wattmeter method, we can find out the power for both balanced as well as unbalanced loads. Let us get into the insight of measurement of power in three-phase circuit using 1 wattmeter method. In this method, 1 wattmeter is connected in any two lines of three-phase system using a two-way switch. So here we are using a two-way switch. And then let us see how do we find out a three-phase power of a three-phase circuit using 1 wattmeter. Coming to this connection diagram of 1 wattmeter, here we have taken an example of three-phase load which is star connected. Here you can see that there are three phases, 1, 2, 3. Then the line current of this phase 1 is I1 and line current of phase 2 is this should be I2 and here it should be I3. So we'll have a wattmeter. Now you can see first 1 and 3. You can see that the current coil always carries the current I1 and we have a switch here. It's a two-way switch. It can be connected. This switch can be connected either to one position or to second position. When it is connected to position 1, the voltage across the pressure coil is voltage between phase 1 and 3. When the switch is in position 2, the voltage across the pressure coil is going to be voltage across 1 and 2. Hope you are clear with this. Please correct this one. So here we are going to have, let me correct it here. So this is going to be I2, not I3. And this is going to be V2, not V3. This is I3 and this is V3. Please make this correction. Now this is the correct circuit. In this circuit, we have a two-way switch here. This is the center limb. So you will have the switch either in position 1 or in position 2. When it is connected to position 1, voltage across pressure coil is V13. When it is in position 2, voltage across pressure coil is V12. So let us see how this circuit will measure three-phase power. Before going to that, let us simply have a clear picture of the phasor diagram. What is the value of line voltages and line currents? So, say each phase. So, let us take an example of a balanced load here. So, when it is a balanced load, we can see that this is V1, this is V2, and V3. So the phase sequence is 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. These are voltages. Now, because the load is lagging load and it's a balanced load, so I1 should be equals to I2 should be equals to I3, and I1 lags V1 by power factor angle phi. Here I2 lags V2 by power factor angle phi. I3 lags V3 by power factor angle phi. Now, as we have seen that when the switch is in position 1, pressure coil voltage is V13. So let us try to get the pressure coil voltage V13, and current through current coil is always I1. So let us see what is the phase angle difference between V13 and I1. So first, to draw this V13, V13 is nothing but V1 minus V3. So where is V1? Here is V1. There is V3. If this is plus V3, 180 degree to this V3 will be minus V3. So if I take resultant of these two, I'll be getting V13. So V1 and minus V3, resultant vector. Here this should be our V13, because phase angle between V1 and V3, this whole angle is going to be 60. How 60? We know that V1, angle between V1 and V2 is 120. Angle between V2 and V3 is 120. Now if I reverse this, angle between V3 and minus V3, this whole angle should be 180. When this is completely 180, this whole one is 180. What is angle between minus V3 and V2? 180 minus 120. Let me write the same. I'll write it in red. This complete angle is 180. Angle between V2 and V3 is 120. So angle difference between V2 and minus V3 is 180 minus 120, which is 60. Now angle between V1 and V2, this is 120. Angle between V1 and V3, it is 120 minus 60, which is 60. So from this it is clear that angle between V1 and minus V3 is 60. After understanding this, because V1 magnitude and V3 magnitude is same, as we have connected load to a three-phase balanced supply, the magnitude of V1 and V3 and V2 are same. So we are going to have this resultant vector bisecting V1, angle between V1 and minus V3, which means this angle is 30 and this angle should be also 30. Why? Because V13 is bisecting angle between V1 and minus V3. Hope you have understood the same. I'll give you a few seconds. Please note it down. I have to clear the drawings because we have come to a conclusion that angle between V1 and V13 is 30 and angle between V13 and minus V3 is 30. It's already written in black here. I'm clearing the drawings now. So here we have angle between V1 and V13 as 30. Angle between V13 and minus V3 is also 30. We are trying to find out angle between V13 and V1 because voltage across pressure coil is V13, current through current coil is V1. So what is the angle between V13 and V1? It is this one. So what is this? Angle between V1 and V13 is 30 minus angle between V1 and I1 is 5. So this angle is 30 minus 5. Similarly, when the switch will be in position 2, we'll have current through current coil remaining unchanged, same I1, and voltage across pressure coil is changed to V1, 2. This is our V12. Just like V13, V12 will also bisect angle between V1 and minus V2. So angle between V12 and V1 is 30 as shown here. And angle between V1 and I1 is 5. So angle between V12 and I1, V12 and I1, this will be 30 plus 5. Let me write here in the black space. So we got angle between V13 and phase I1. This is equals to 30 minus 5. Similarly, angle between V12 and I1, it is 30 plus 5. Hope it is clear from the explanation. Let me clear the drawings. So for the 1 wattmeter method, we have seen the figure of the circuit diagram and also phasor diagram. When the switch is in position 1, the wattmeter is connected in 1 and 3 phases. Current through current coil is in series with the line 1 and potential coil is across 1 and 3 phases. Thus, power measured by the wattmeter in position 1 of switch is given by V13, I1, cos of angle between V13 and I1, say this is W1. This is the vector diagram we have already seen. So V13, I1, cos of angle between V13 and I1 is 30 minus 5. 30 minus 5 is the angle between phase V13 and phase I1. Under balanced loads, V13 is equals to V12 is equals to V23, which is equals to line voltage, and phase current is same as line current for star connection. So I1 is equals to IL. So I can rewrite the above equation like W1 is equals to, instead of V13, we will write line voltage. Instead of I1, we will write line current and cos of 30 minus 5. Okay, this is equation 1. Now, we'll see what is the power measured by the wattmeter when the switch position is in position 2. W2 will be pressure coil voltage is between phase 1 and 2 and hence it is V12. Current through current coil is I1. Sorry, this is also wrong. Let me correct it. It is I1 and cos of angle between V12 and I1. W2 is V12, I1. What is angle between V12? Let us see the figure here. This is V12 and I1. Angle between V12 and V1 is 30. V1 and I1 angle is 5. So 30 plus 5 will be angle between V12 and I1. Hence 30 plus 5. Knowing this, let us rewrite the W2 expression as under balanced loads V12 is equals to V23 is equals to V31 is equals to line voltage. I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I3 is equals to line current for star connected loads. Please mind it. Then our W2 is VL IL cos 30 plus 5. Knowing this, if we proceed further from equations 1 and 2, what happens if I add W1 and W2? I have taken the reading of the wattmeter when the position of switch is 1, that is W1, and the position of the switch is 2, it is going to be W2. Then what happens if I add these two? I'll be getting VLIL cos 30 minus 5 plus VLIL cos 30 plus 5. Let us expand this cos 30 minus 5 and cos 30 plus 5. VLIL will be the same. So cos 30 minus 5 is cos 30 cos 5 plus sin 30 sin 5. And then we are done with expanding this. We have VLIL common in both the terms. So let us take it outside. So we place the square bracket here. This whole term is expansion of cos 30 minus 5. And let us expand cos 30 plus 5 here. It's adding here. We have plus. So I'll place plus here. So it's cos 30 cos 5 minus sin 30 sin 5. It's a simple math, trigonometry. When I simplify this, I'll have sin 30 sin 5 minus sin 30 sin 5 getting cancelled. I have cos 30 cos 5 plus cos 30 cos 5. So I'll be left out with 2 VL IL cos 30 cos 5. Then we know cos 30 is root 3 by 2. So let us place it here. 2 and 2 gets cancelled. So it will be simplified to root 3 VL IL cos 5. So we know that the three-phase power of a three-phase circuit is given by root 3 VL IL cos 5. So W1 plus W2 will give you root 3 VL IL cos 5, which is the real power consumed by three-phase balanced load. Now let us see the measurement of reactive power of a balanced load using 1 wattmeter method. The single wattmeter method is used for measuring the power of balanced three-phase supply. The current coil of the wattmeter is connected to one phase and pressure coil is connected to two other phases of the line. So let the current coil be I2. Then we are connecting the current coil to line 2. So the current through current coil is I2. And if you see the pressure coil, it should be connected to two other phases. So when 2 is already used here, then we are left out with 1 and 2. So between 1 and 2, we will connect the pressure coil like this. Current coil is placed in series with the line 2. So the current coil is carrying I2 current. Pressure coil is connected across 1 and 3. So the pressure coil is connected across V13. Voltage across pressure coil is V13. Please check there is no connection between here. It's a clear overlap. Here we have overlap. It's not shorted here. So current CC, it's a current coil connected between supply 2 and load 2. PC pressure coil is connected between 1 and 3 lines here. Let us see what we get if we connect it there. So the total reactive volt ampere of the circuit is, that means the reading of the wattmeter. So what will get the reading of the wattmeter? So it is simply voltage across pressure coil, which is V13, and current through the current coil, which is I2, and cos of phase angle between V13 and I2. Let us see what is the angle between V13 and I2. Here you can see V13 and I2. Let us again try to recollect that the angle between V13 and minus V3 is 30, because V13 is bisecting the angle between V1 and minus V3. Similarly, the angle between minus V3 and V2 is going to be 60. So that here we have angle between V1 and minus V3 60. Angle between minus V3 and V2 will be 60. Why? Because angle between V1 and V2 is 120. This whole angle is 120. V3 is bisecting this whole angle. So this angle is 60 and this angle is 60. Let me show you the same. This complete angle is 60. This complete angle is 60. Now we want to find out angle between V13 and I2. That means this face. Where is our I2? Here is our face I2. So between these two, which means let us go part by part. So from here to here it is 30. From here to here it is 60, which is 30 plus 60. So far we have traveled till here. And then we have 5 plus 5, which is, it is 90 plus 5. So angle between V13 and I2 is 90 plus 5. Hope you are clear with this. Let me clear all the drawings. So here, if we check, the reading of the wattmeter is equals to V13 I2 cos 90 plus 5, because phase angle between V13 and I2 is 90 plus 5, as we have seen in our previous slide. So let us expand here. V13 is the line voltage. Suppose V is the phase voltage, because it's a balanced load. So all phase voltages and all line currents are equal. I mean to say V13, all phase voltages, V1 is equals to V2 is equals to V3. And line voltages V12 is equals to V23 is equals to V31. Similarly, line currents I1 is equals to I2 is equals to I3. This is the condition for a balanced load. Yeah, where were we? We were discussing that what will be the reading of the wattmeter. So, so we have seen that it is V13 into I2 into cos of 90 plus 5. Now we are discussing about the phase voltages. So generally phase voltage is equals to line voltage by root 3, because here it is a star connected load. So V13 is a line voltage divided by root 3 should be equals to the phase voltage, and we have assumed V as our phase voltage. I can replace V13 by root 3 times of V phase. So root 3 times of V phase, which is V, is equals to V13, and I2 is the line current, so let it be I. Here it's star connected, so line current is same as phase current. Let me write the same. Because it's a balanced and star connected, V12 equals to V23 is equals to V31. Say this is equals to line voltage. V1 is equals to V2 is equals to V3. This is equals to V. So these are line voltages and these are phase voltages. Because it is star connected, we'll have line voltage is equals to root 3 times of phase voltage. Hence, instead of V13, we have replaced it by root 3 times of V. Similarly, when you come to currents, because it is star connected, I1, I2, I3, which are phase currents I, they are equals to line currents. So phase current is equals to line currents for this case. Hence, we have I placed there. And then cos of 90 plus phi is going to be minus sine phi. So for angles greater than 90, cos value is going to be negative, and hence we write it as minus sine phi. Hope you're clear so far. So the reading of the wattmeter will show us minus root 3 V I sine phi. The total reactive, so it looks like root 3 VL V I sine phi. This is V phase, this is I phase sine phi. We got something like V phase I phase sine phi. We already know that the reactive power of a three-phase circuit is root 3 VL IL sine phi. It can be written as either root 3 VL IL sine phi, or if you want to write it in terms of phase values, it is going to be 3 V phase I phase sine phi. We have the reading of wattmeter in terms of phase values. It shows that it is V phase I phase sine phi into minus root 3. So that means actually Q value is 3 times of VI sine phi. That means if we multiply minus root 3 to this term, we will get 3 times of VI sine phi. So if you multiply minus root 3 to the reading of the wattmeter, as per our connections we have seen, it should give you the reactive power. So the phase angle phi is given by tan inverse Q by P. Q value is going to be 3 VI sine phi. In terms of wattmeter, let me write it. It's going to be tan inverse. So how are we getting Q? By the connection that we made earlier. That means current coil to one line and pressure coil to other two lines. Then we have to multiply root 3 with the wattmeter reading. Divided by, we have seen the real power calculations where we have taken W1 using single wattmeter method. In the switch position 1, we have taken the wattmeter reading as W1 plus W2, where W2 is the wattmeter reading of the same single phase transform wattmeter when the switch is connected to position 2. So this complete is real power, this complete is reactive power. And thus with this expression I can easily get the value of phi, and if I do cos phi, I'll get the power factor. And hence simply by using only one wattmeter and connecting the circuits as shown in this lecture in the earlier slides, we can calculate the power factor of the load. Of course, a balanced three-phase load. Let us conclude the presentation. So far we have seen how a dynamometer type works as a wattmeter briefly. And then we have seen a circuit diagram to calculate or to take the reading of a wattmeter. Circuit diagram to connect a wattmeter to measure a single phase power. And we have seen that how to measure three-phase power in a three-phase circuit using one wattmeter. We have seen the circuit for measurement of real power consumed by three-phase balanced load and how to arrive to the three-phase power equation. And then we have seen a circuit connection to measure a reactive power of a three-phase circuit, which is a balanced one. And we have seen to the meter reading, we have to multiply minus root 3 to get the total reactive power consumed by the load, total reactive power of the load, and then that is Q. And then we have seen, after knowing Q and P, how to get the power factor angle, and cos phi will be our power factor. Finally, we have arrived on how to calculate the power factor of a three-phase circuit by using one wattmeter method. So the learning outcomes of this presentation are, it should be actually explain measurement of power in single phase circuit using wattmeter, explain measurement of power in three-phase circuit using one wattmeter method, and explain measurement of reactive power and power factor angle in three-phase circuit using one wattmeter method. Hope you have understood the concepts explained in this presentation. Thank you.